There we go. How's everyone doing? Everyone having a good day today? Don't know who's all here, but hi, Noah. So Noah had a question for me earlier today, which I can get on and answer right away. So Noah was asking about the surface area of a shape. You want to remind me about that, Noah? I'm trying to find where you emailed me earlier, so you don't have to. But where's that email? Surface area of a rectangular pyramid. Okay. So a rectangular pyramid is the same thing as a rectangular prism, but instead of having terrible prism or pyramid, I'm sorry. But basically what you do is you have your base and then you unfold it. So one triangle goes there, one triangle goes there, one triangle goes there, one triangle goes there. And basically you know that this is base times height, and this is base times height divided by 2. So if you have, let me pull up an example really quick here. So yeah, surface area is probably the easier part of this for you guys. Once we get into volume in the next couple days, it'll be a little trickier, but this does help. So basically, surface area, we're just looking at the surface of it. So let's say our, let me draw this a little better here. That's terrible. I'm out of practice from drawing shapes. And you have our dotted line there. So let's say we have this figure, and the base is 5. It's a 5 by 5 shape. And then the height, which as you know is just like the height of the slant. So if you form a right angle there, the height would be, let's go with 8 inches. So if we take this, this will be our base right here. We unfold it. We're left with a 5 by 5 square and 4 triangles that are 5 with a height of 8. Right? So the height is 8 on these, and the base is 5. So what we do is we say, okay, with this rectangle, base times height, 5 times 5 is 25. And of course, it's units squared. And then for this, it's base times height divided by 2. So 5 times 8 divided by 2. 5 times 8 is 40. Divided by 2 is 20. Then we take 20 times 1, 2, 3, 4. So 20 times 4. We add 25 to 80 because we had 25 units in the square. And then we have 80 units for all the triangles. And we get 105. That's off screen, sorry. Units squared. Kind of makes sense? I did post a video that I went through a couple examples of this. Title is Surface Area of Rectangular Pyramids, I think. So feel free to look there too. We can do another example really quick if you guys want. We'll do a triangular prism, I guess. So if we have a triangular base, so that would be our base. And then we will make that three-dimensional, just like that. That one looks a lot better. Hi, Ashton. Let's say our base. Well, let's flatten it out first. I think that's gonna be the best way to do this one. It's gonna be kind of hard to see otherwise. So we have a triangular base. It looks like this. Then we have this triangle right here, this triangle right here, and this triangle right there. So that's it flattened out. And we're going to go with a base of 10. So this, and this are 10. And then all three of these triangles are the same. This is going to have a height of 14. And this one has a height of 8.7. I'm not really going to be able to fit it in there, so let's put it down here. So 8.7. So now, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles, these ones are all the same. We need to find the surface area of this. So 10 times 8.7 divided by 2. And then we need to find 10 times 14 divided by 2. And 10 times 14 divided by 2, we need to do that 3 times because there are 1, 2, 3 of those triangles. So we take 10 times 8.7, giving us 87 divided by 2, which gives us 43.5. And then 10 times 14 is 140, divided by 2 is 70, times 3 is 210. So then we need to add these two together, which gives us 253 units squared. So those are two different types of triangles you can do that on. Does that help? Good. Okay, so does anyone have any other questions on math? I'm going to be giving you guys, technically you already have it, but we're going to be doing that quiz tomorrow on this stuff, which I think you guys should be able to do pretty well. If you guys don't have any more math questions, I think I can talk a little bit about biology, about mammals. That's what you guys want. So everyone should have done the reading about mammals for yesterday, right? Everyone's pretty much done with that? Like I said yesterday, this is much less fun than teaching because you guys aren't as active. Yeah. So let's talk about mammals. So we kind of went over this yesterday a little bit, but who can give me some of the defining features of what a mammal is? Not all at once. Noah says they have hair or fur. Good. So did Kristen. I guess Kristen got that in first. Sorry. Ruby says endothermic. Good. What else do we have? A couple different features. We'll talk specifically about each one of these. Different shapes of teeth, vertebrates. Good job, guys. Different teeth and vertebrates. Good. So those are 4 big features. What else do we know about them? Mostly have live birth. Good. 4-chambered hearts. Good. Good. We got most of them. Yep. 4-chambered heart. We got that. So let's talk. Let's go through and talk through the list here. So hair and fur. As you guys know, you have hair on your heads, and even hippopotamus have hair on them, even though they look pretty much hairless. So the hair. What purposes does hair serve? What does hair do for the mammal? Feeling and keeping warm. Very good. So hair and fur is going to help feel, keep warm. So when your hair on your body, you can feel something's crawling on you. Like if you're outside and you feel a mosquito, you can feel that because of the hair. But it also allows you to survive in colder places. For example, if you look at a wolf, husky just walked by out my window, pretty close to a wolf. They have a lot of thick fur, which helps keep them warm during the winter. And just below the hair and fur, there's a layer of fat, which also helps insulate them and keep them warm. So yeah, our mammals, their hair and fur is a nice feature to keep them warm, even during the coldest winter. So endothermic, they are self-heated, right? So that kind of goes with keeping warm too. They don't have to rely on environment, which means they can live in different places. Birds kind of have to migrate, right? But mammals can live pretty much anywhere they want. You can find people around the world anywhere, pretty much. How about different teeth? What can you guys tell me about the different teeth? What can you tell me about different types of teeth? What are the technically 4, but 3 main types of teeth? So we have canine, molars, and incisors. Good. Canines, we know that those are like dogs, right? Yep, they are for different things to eat. So depending on what type of teeth you have, that determines what you eat. So let's look at see if I can find an animal here with some teeth. Yes, some are sharp. What are the sharp ones for, Kelly? Or I guess anyone, whoever answers first. So what is the use of the sharp teeth? Stabbing. Good. What else? Ripping through flesh. Good. Think about eating a nice big steak. So molars, of course, are for what? Yeah, tearing, ripping, all that kind of stuff for uh, the canine teeth. Molars are for grinding. Good. Grinding the food. Yeah, so basically, the kind of animal that would use molars is a plant eater because if you think about what a plant is, it's got really super thick cell walls on it. So if it's got these big cell walls that are hard to break down, you need something to tear them apart and shred them and grind them down. And then, of course, the incisors are kind of like shovels. And what are those used for? What are biting off parts of food? Good. Yeah, they're kind of like shovels. So they, in some ways, they slice, but they're not meant for like chewing. Yeah, cutting food. That's a good way to look at it. So I got a picture here of some animal teeth on my phone. What do you guys think this guy would eat, judging by his teeth? I was going to zoom in more, but it's a little bit gross. Yeah, we do have four of the incisors in the front of our mouth. We kind of have them top and bottom. I think we actually have more than that. So we got a lot of people saying plants, grass. Kind of makes sense, right? He's got thicker teeth. They resemble molars. They're flat. They look like they're good for grinding. I got to pick an animal you guys don't know. I'm pretty sure you guys all know what zebras eat. Hmm. Oh, here's a tricky one. How about Mr. Hippo here? What do you suppose he's going to eat? Try to get in his mouth a little more so you can see those teeth better. Got some meats, fruits, both. Anyone just Googling it as we talk? Meats and plants. What do we think? I think we'll leave that for you guys to find out there. How about? All right, this guy's good. It's called a tapir. These guys live in the rainforest. This is a real animal. This isn't me just pulling up random pictures. What does he eat? Yeah, he's kind of an ugly guy, but yeah, he's an omnivore. Mostly eats insects, but does eat plants. Same with the hippo there. Yeah. So obviously, different types of mammals have different types of teeth, and they all have different features, which is great because that allows for a bunch of different types. Vertebrates, we all have backbones. Mammals without backbones would be really weird. And then live birth. So most of the creatures we've seen so far, when they give birth to an egg, which is okay. You have an egg, and this egg sits there. Sorry, the camera's bouncing around here. This egg, you sit there. You can either choose to protect it, draw a little shield, or you can choose not to protect it. And either way, it kind of just does its own thing. With a live birth, you have a baby to deal with. And most of the animal kingdom, when stuff is born, it just can run and do its own thing. But, for example, humans, our babies are kind of pathetic. They kind of need their parents to survive. Now, I see this list, and as we talk about live birth, there's one big thing we're forgetting for mammals. What are we forgetting? Put my water glass, sorry. What are we missing from this list? It's the most exclusive mammal thing. It's in the name, mammals. Oh, multiple creatures have sexual reproduction. Yes, Ruby, feed them with milk. The parents generate milk in their mammary glands to feed to their young. So that allows them to nurture and grow their young. It doesn't mean they have to sacrifice any food like birds do. They don't necessarily have to go and hunt anything for them. While mammals are young, they will have their mother's milk, which is a pretty neat feature. And then the four-chambered heart. Did anyone watch the video I posted? I don't think. I think it only had one view. Sad. Just kidding. I don't care. But basically, I talked in there about how a four-chambered heart allows for more efficient oxygen production. And if you guys know anything about oxygen, your muscles use that to be fueled. So your heart's job, basically, and your heart kind of looks more like this, is to take in blood. We'll draw it like this. These would be like a blood system. This is another blood system. This isn't completely accurate, but basically it takes in bad, low O2 blood. Sends it to the heart, where the heart with the lungs puts oxygen in it and makes good oxygen rich blood. So basically, using your lungs and your heart, your blood is getting made strong. So a four-chambered heart is way more efficient. We also have something called a diaphragm, and if these were the lungs, which they kind of look like, you have this diaphragm, which is this muscle, which expands and contracts your lungs. So basically, right now, if you feel right below your chest bone and kind of feel there's like the above your stomach, but kind of just in the middle of your chest bone, there's like a tough, muscly section. If you breathe, you can feel it go up and down a little bit. So that's your diaphragm. All mammals have those, and it's pretty neat. Cool. And mammals, if you've kind of seen some of them, if you read through the chapter, you see that there are a lot of different types of mammals. We talk about dolphins being mammals, which they are. We talk about, dogs being mammals, cats being mammals, people being a type of mammal. Some whales are mammals. So, what's the qualification here? Well, kind of these things. These guys up here. Those are all of our qualifications. Now, you might look at a whale and say, wow, that whale doesn't have any fur, Mr. Ron. You're lying to me. At one point of its life, most likely it does. But with mammals, we have a lot of diversity. We have a lot of different parts, and we have a lot of different things that allow them to survive. So we kind of talked about fur earlier. There are certain mammals that have horns, like deer or antelope. There are certain animals that have different, like hand structures, I guess. So, we have five-fingered hands. I'm not going to draw it, but we have regular hands. But like some animals, like bears, have paws. Some have hooves, like cows or deer. But overall, all of us have the same similar features. So does anyone have any questions about mammals? So I'm going to move on a little bit to the next section in our book and talk a little bit about some weird mammals called monotremes. So monotremes are some of the weirdest animals in the world. Okay, sorry. I don't know why my chat's like delayed, but it takes a second to get the questions. Why some live in water, not in land? So whales or dolphins, for example, live in water, but they're still mammals. Basically, they're designed, they're equipped for survival in the water. Even their means of communication, like echolocation that they use, is designed for water. So, hypothetically speaking, a dolphin could come out on land and flop around and be fine, but it's not going to be able to get food. It's not going to be able to survive. They're just different types of mammals, and we break it down. So we have mammal, and then we kind of break it down into the different groups, which allows us to be more specific. So just because we do say mammal, that doesn't mean, you know, kangaroos or uh, deer. It can mean basically any one of those groups. As we get more specific, such as monotremes, which are weird mammals, we can kind of start specifying them more. So they live in the water because that's where they live, basically. There's not really a good answer. Any other questions before we move on? Are they more developed of eating fishes? I would say most mammals are more developed to eat fish due to the fact that they have the echolocation ability. That they, if you think about the mammals that we have in the ocean, such as dolphins, they're very, very streamlined. So they're very fast. And they're one of the only things in the ocean that really fights against sharks, which are one of the top predators. So I think that puts them in an elevated status. Monotremes. And I'll be posting a video about these guys tomorrow. This will be your reading for tomorrow more so. I just wanted to talk about it today. These are super, super weird mammals. They are kind of ridiculously goofy. These are our spiny anteaters, our duck-billed platypuses. They're just weird. So if you think of duck-billed platypus, it's got a bill, it's got webbed feet, it's got fur, it's venomous, it lays eggs. The big thing about monotremes is they lay eggs. Yeah, so they lay eggs, but they still give milk to their children. So same thing with spiny anteaters. Spiny anteaters actually have a pouch too. Yeah, these are platypus. Platypi, I guess, is the proper term. Yeah, so their youngs will hatch from eggs, but they still eat milk, and we count them as mammals because that's really the category they fall into. What is that, Ruby? I'm not familiar with that. Let me look it up quick. Sorry. Oh, yeah. So those are the spiny anteaters, kind of. Yeah. So those are monotremes because they lay eggs. If they didn't lay eggs, they'd just be regular mammals. But these are kind of like a break off of mammals where they're still mammals, but they're yeah. So those are basically the spiny anteaters. So yeah, those are monotremes, and then we also have like marsupials. And marsupials are our pouch wielding friends. So our kangaroos, our possums. Now you should know that possum is spelled with an O, by the way. It's a silent O. But possums in the United States are completely different things than like in Australia or anywhere else in the world. So if you hear people talking about how cute possums are, I mean, I think they're pretty cute here, but they're a different creature altogether elsewhere. But yeah, kangaroos are also marsupials. They have the pouch. Female kangaroos only give birth to one baby at a time. They're called a joey. Very Australian of them. And they usually have a very short gestation period. And this is the first time we should be hearing the word gestation period, which means the time between birth, conception, and birth. We have about a 9-month gestation period. That means from when the sperm fertilizes the egg, you have 9 months until the baby is born. Whereas these guys, it can be a couple months or even 13 days for some of them. So, for example, I believe kangaroos, it's a 13-day gestation period. Yes, possums are not very nice and definitely could give rabies, especially if they're out during the daytime. So don't bother them. And then we have monotremes, marsupials, and then our third group would be placental. And placental, I'm not really giving any examples here. I'm just kind of going through the three types and writing random things down. I apologize. Placental mammals are the groups that we are in. And placenta is basically where the baby forms inside of the uterus. So most mammals are placental, but we can kind of break down into further categories. Yeah, so basically what I want you to know about them is it's most others besides those. And it has to do with where the fertilized egg starts developing in the uterus, of course. And it forms a placenta that keeps the baby, yada, yada, yada. We'll get more into that when we get into anatomy of humans. Any questions? Yes, some creatures do eat the placenta after birth. Some people keep it and eat it for human placentas. I don't know why. I don't know the reason. I believe it's very nutritious, so it's not something you want to waste. But yeah, personally, I don't know too much about it. But yes, some do. Okay. Cows do? Okay. Didn't know that. Yeah, like I said, it's very nutritious. There's a lot of nutrients in it from the pregnancy because basically what's happening is the mother's feeding through the placenta almost. So the nutrients are still in there. So it makes sense that cows, pigs, some people do that. I guess not really, but okay. So I hope you guys are paying attention to this. For an assignment, it's on Classroom already. Basically, I want you to kind of summarize the live stream, kind of what we've done with the science stuff, and kind of post it. If you guys did the reading, that's fine too. I just wanted to make sure you were getting this information. Doing a poster in addition to the reading, and that'll be basically a 2-day project due on Friday, and we're going to live stream about science on Friday as well. Let's switch gears back to math. Anyone have any more questions about the mammals that we talked about? Good. You don't necessarily have to do notes, but you might want to just document a couple things that we talked about. We pretty good? So once again, I'm going to be posting like YouTube videos that kind of help you out with some of this stuff. I don't know how helpful they've been, but if you've watched them, hopefully they've kind of aided you with the assignments. My goal is to kind of have stuff for you to watch to help you out with these assignments. Yeah, so we can, now that we got 7 people here, does anyone know where the other half of our class would be? Because we got 7 right now watching. And it's fine if you don't, that's why I gave you the option, to read instead of doing this. But yeah. Anyone have any ideas? I'm going to quick draw a pyramid here. No clue. Playing video games? Probably. Can't fault them for that. Ruby doesn't know. I was going to say, everyone except for Noah and Kira are on the chat. So Alex is probably playing with his friends. His friends are all here. What the heck? So if we got a 11 by 14 triangle here. Yeah. We'll do a couple live streams a week. So I don't want this to be like a big burden on you guys where you have to like come and do it all the time. But just a chance for me to connect with you guys, answer questions you have, and kind of teach some of the stuff I want you to learn. So you're not just stuck learning it on your own. Okay. So if we have this triangular pyramid here and we flatten it out, it'll kind of look like that. And each one of the bases is 11. And the height, and I know it's hard to read there, but that is 14. So if you are following along, feel free to do this kind of before I do it, kind of while I'm doing it, to kind of make sure you're doing it right, kind of get the steps down. Can someone tell me what the formula is for area of a triangle? Area of a triangle formula. Anybody? Oh, base times height divided by 2. Good. So we take the base times height divided by 2. So what is our base? Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. Base would be what? Good, 11. Sorry. Okay, so our base is 11 times what's our height? For this one right here, or any one of these, actually. Not the middle, though. 14. Thank you, Kristen. I think Kristen has the best internet connection out of all of us, because hers always seem to come through first. So 11 times 14 divided by 2. And we're going to multiply that by itself how many times? How many of these triangles do we have? Well, thank you. 4 times. So 11 times 14 divided by 2 times 4 gives us 308. Oh, 308. Okay, so 308, that gives us this, and this. Now we find the area of this rectangle. How do we find the area of a rectangle? Base times height. Thank you, Quentin. And our base and height is 11 times 11, giving us a nice round 121 plus 308, giving us 429 units squared. So that's the surface area for that whole shape. Sorry, it's kind of off the page, but there you go. So that's how you do those. That's yeah. I think anything else you would have had to do, especially on the quiz, should be within that realm. You shouldn't have to go beyond that. Or if it's something weird, like a pentagon or an octagon, they'll give you the area of that shape. Yeah. So does anyone have any questions? Doing pretty good? Okay. If no one else has any questions, I'll give you guys a couple more seconds. I know it takes a while for me to get your messages and stuff. Probably wrap it up here. If anyone has any questions, of course, feel free to contact me. You guys know how to reach me by now. Make sure you check on classmates who weren't here. Give them a hard time. Get them here next time, which should be on Friday, if that works for everyone. Let me double check my schedule. For that, I'm going to say no. Grades for third quarter are done and in, so we're going to be on fourth quarter here. So everything we've done is going in for fourth quarter. That's why I held off on putting in the math stuff. So the grades that you kind of have, you kind of have. So if I were you, I would check your grades, and if anything seems wrong, personally, like I'm not going to take any late work. But check your grades, make sure your grades are what they should be for this quarter. And I don't think any of your other teachers are going to take late work. But if you need to email someone, do it now, because otherwise Katie will probably get angry because she's got the cards printed off already. Yeah. So next live stream will be Friday. So Friday, we're going to go 1 o'clock again. And I put that in a weird spot, but. And we're going to be reviewing because we're going to be doing a test on Monday about mammals, just an introduction to mammals. And if you read the reading and you do the assignment for the next couple days, you will be perfectly fine. It's going to be pretty easy. It's going to be online. When are you getting your grades? Like your report cards? I do not know. I assume they will either mail them to you or they'll have you go and pick them up like you're supposed to be doing with homework, besides my class. But if you check right now, your grades should be up to date, hypothetically speaking. Any other questions? Like I said, can be for this class, can be for other classes. Did I answer everyone's questions?
The other thing could be like Potosi Holiday Gardens. They're more expensive, I believe. I mean, Belmont Convention Center is also more expensive.
So I answered everyone's questions, it looks like. All right. So Friday, 1 o'clock. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I will be basically always on my phone. So, yeah, let me know if you have any questions. See you then, and have a good day.